like you're about to die. Clap. Happy Tuesday, everyone. What a great show we have tonight. Like a packet of smoked meat sticks, we got two Slim Jims. Jim Norton and Jimmy Failure. Yeah. One looks like an escaped serial killer who targets the homeless, and the other one looks like his next victim. Dagan looks like the one who'd find the body while she was jogging and then takes the watch, while Kat takes a kidney. She says it's good for the skin. Now, there's a good chance that I make you sick to your stomach. Like, say, a 40% chance. About the same odds you'd get if you eat the clam plate at Denny's. That's according to University of Nebraska experts who claim that 4 in 10 people cite politics as a top life stressor. It's so bad that it causes insomnia, destroys relationships, and for at least 5% causes them to feel suicidal. But so does watching Emily in Paris, but I'm not quitting that either. It really is delightful. In the second season, getting picked up for a third. They blame politics for causing fatigue, anger, and compulsive behaviors, and that's just from the staff of Fox and Friends. A quarter claim they're thinking of moving because of the politics in their state, especially California, which explains why U-Hauls are harder to find than an actress with her real nose. Can you blame them? Politics suck, and our politicians are suckier. Look at them. Their faces should be on the back of household cleaning products to induce vomiting if swallowed. And Pelosi's investment success has raised some eyebrows, including hers, to the top of her forehead. We're a country run by evil rejects from the Muppets, except they've got their hands up your butt. And it doesn't feel as good as it used to. So much like smoking weed, politics started as a thing to prevent people from killing each other. You created a process that enables debate to eliminate the need for duels, which is good. Try buying a decent sword on Amazon. I've tried. But over time, politics has become less of a mayhem reducer and more the opposite, a conflict stirrer. Why is it getting worse? Well, experts blame social media, websites, podcasts, and the nonstop TV news cycle. But notice how they leave out legacy media. It's on us and not them. But one thing's true, cable news has a content problem, which is a time problem. How do you fill 24 hours with 20 minutes of news? It's like trying to feed Brian Stelter only one box of Twinkies. So you just repeat it over and over and over again. Back when I was a kid, you got your news at 6 p.m., then you finished your Swanson's TV dinner, adjusted your polio braces, and all was right with the world. Too soon? I don't know. Now, we can take one story and, like the skin on Jerry Nadler's trunk, stretch it for 3 days. The media declares a crisis, then covers their coverage of it, then covers reaction to their coverage. No wonder people feel bad. But just imagine how much happier you'd be if you tuned it all out.
Oh my God, Lori, did you see the news last night? It's infuriating. I couldn't sleep.
Oh no, I was stargazing. The universe is wonderful.
What an idiot. Have you read this? Crazy stuff is happening.
Oh no, I've just been admiring this beautiful drawing my niece made me.
Have you listened to the podcast Angry Men Discuss Politics?
Oh no, I've been listening to Sounds of the Ocean.
Oh my God. Well, you better educate yourself or you're never gonna survive.
Excellent acting. But here's the kicker. People actually now feel worse under Biden than in Trump, when Trump was president. According to Gallup, in just 1 year, we saw a swing from a 9-point Democratic advantage to a 5-point GOP edge. That's a shift of 14 points, according to our point shifting department. Shout out to Seth. Good job. That's pretty big when you consider the media is still 95% liberal, and also that Biden was supposed to be a jar of relief factor after Trump's 4-year rug burn. Biden was supposed to bring people together, except we didn't know it would be in a line waiting for COVID tests. So people feel worse under Joe, perhaps because he's more divisive than a magician with a circular saw. Now your instinct is to blame these guys. Understandable, they're a-holes, but they're being led by bigger a-holes. Our politicians now chase recognition from the most extreme media types. To get the dopamine rush, the Dems throw that beast more red meat in 24 hours than a zookeeper on Ritalin. It's why Biden, instead of fighting crime or inflation, calls half of America bigots. His staff is merely checking what crap tends to trend on woke Twitter and then spoon feeds it to the old coot like his wife does his strained beats. What say you, Joe?
Come on, man. Look. Some people think I'm angry. Don't believe everything you hear. I'm never angry. I'm Uncle Joe, all right? People like me, and I don't believe people are as unhappy as they say. It depends on who you ask. Depends on who count the votes. Count the votes! Count the votes! Count the votes! Okay, well, it comes and goes, obviously.
It does come and go. But also look at the modern progressive activists. We've seen Antifa mugshots, pale faces, purple hair, rotted teeth, lazy eyes, what Jim Norton calls a solid 9. The study finds the people most vulnerable to political stress are younger, lean Democrat, and are more actively engaged in political causes. They're more likely to dye their hair shocking colors, too. That's nature's way of warning you about poisonous frogs or a poisonous liberal arts major. But it makes sense. If you choose an angry, bitter framing of the world, you too will be angry and bitter. If you view everything through a racial prism, you might end up with your own show on MSNBC, but you won't find a moment of happiness in your life. Everything's racist. It's joyless. You'll be constantly pissed off by your faulty framing, and no one wants to be around that. Finally, the researchers see their data as a bad sign for democracy, that if people view politics as harmful, they won't get involved. And why is that bad exactly? They just said the more involved you are, the worse it is. Maybe swallowing all that junk food is bad for you. If you're injecting politics into everything from sports to house paint, you're replacing knowledge with rhetoric and losing friends, family, and your mind in the process. So if your head hurts because you keep hitting it with a hammer, then put down the hammer. Or if you're Don Lemon, keep at it. It can only help. Let's welcome tonight's guests. He's not allowed within 50 feet of schoolyards, junkyards, or barnyards. Comedian and co-host of the Jim Norton and Sam Roberts Show on SiriusXM, Jim Norton. Yes. She's the crabbiest Virginian this side of the Chesapeake Bay. Fox business anchor, Dagan McDowell. He's hailed by all comedy lovers to give them a ride home after the show. Because he's a cab driver. Fox Across America host Jimmy Failla, whatever. And she asked her accountant if hair extensions are a tax write-off. Fox News contributor Kat Tim. Jimmy, it is great to see you. I thought you hated me.
No, I love you.
We hadn't talked in so long. Sometimes I'd lay awake at night and stare at a grainy picture of you I took.
I would do the same thing, and I'm probably doing the same thing you were doing in my picture.
Oh, it was I don't know about that. Do politics make you sick, and if so, why? By the way, I could never tell your politics when we were doing Red Eye. I never knew where you stood on anything. It was amazing.
Greg, I believe if 5 people can sit in a circle with their legs crossed, we can agree on anything. And politics is really how I get myself primed to make love.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I like to say who I voted for in the primaries while she puts clothespins on my nipples. Yeah, not enough political talk.
That is your foreplay. Well, you know, Dagan, some people see politics as a sport, right? It's like, to them, Fox News is their ESPN.
No.
No.
Sports are sports. Politics doesn't make me sick, though. People do.
Yes.
I really hate people.
Yes.
Those people, particularly people who are so sure about their own beliefs that they don't think that they have opinions about anything, that they have complete certitude in what they think and what they believe is right and just. And then if you disagree with them, they treat you, well, like you're inhuman, like a racist slee stack.
Yes.
With a bad cough.
Ugh.
Like they want to, when people, and they'll argue with you using delicious factoids from Bette Midler's Twitter feed. You know, the people who are going to watch Rex Chapman's show on CNN Plus.
That is so far removed from reality. I don't even know who that is, but he's on CNN Plus, which means that no one will know who he is.
It's that on Twitter who just like
narrow it down way more than
It's that on Twitter.
So far, that's all of them.
Yes, yes.
But
to your point, it's like people that are that strident in politics, their filter is too narrow to have an actual broad conversation about anything because everything goes back to race, everything goes back to oppression, everything goes back to owning the libs, whatever.
Right, and they never have any, they get their information from like Bette Midler and Cher and Nicole Wallace. That is their circle. That is the circle and cycle of idiocy.
It's a three-headed, it's a three-headed beast.
Yes.
With only sharing one brain. You know, Jimmy, Men's Warehouse called. They released a statement. They don't like the way you look.
Get out of town. This is
like,
normally, go ahead, if you have.
You're like a homeless Don Johnson.
Well, I always say this is like my Jacksonville Vice look. Like I'm not good looking enough for Miami Vice.
Yes.
But also it's like an unspoken thing. When you have another comic on the panel wearing white as a way of telling them there's someone who can get cocaine in near proximity. It's like a little safety sign for hand gestures. But normally I would attack you, but I actually have a question tonight. I consider it a fair question. If they ever reboot the TV show Webster, is Emmanuel Lewis going to want his wardrobe back?
Is he still alive?
I don't even know.
I hope he's alive and writes an angry letter to you.
God love him. He'd be well within his rights.
You know he's like 60, so who cares?
Anybody who doesn't think like politics damages your mental health, to a point you made earlier, has never been on Twitter, which really is, as you know, it's just a fight club for people who don't want to get hit, you know? You could post a picture of your dog on Twitter, and within 2 comments, someone's like, yeah, but Trump. And you're like, yeah, my dog didn't vote for Trump. My dog has no idea. But I think part of the reason why we've gotten to this place of like hostility is I think your analogy about ESPN is valid. I think people are rooting for their party so hard that they're just blindly taking sides now, regardless of whether or not it's good or it's sane or it's factual. They just want their side to be right. And what happened to the left, the reason they're hemorrhaging support, is they're not a cool party anymore. Like the left used to be a free speech, sex, drugs, and rock and roll party. They were cool. They won every culture war. Now they're on the wrong side of that issue. And like the Rage Against the Machine people are now in the machine. Like they're like, screw you. You don't support big pharma and the government. Yeah, it's like psychotic. So somehow they made the right, which is criminally uncool, kind of cool.
Yes, it's the Dean Wormer effect. They used to be Animal House, and we used to be Dean Wormer. Now we're Animal House, and they're Dean Wormer. There's only 2 characters you can play in life. It's Animal House and Dean Wormer. Cats, politics sucks. But is there something that we can replace it with? Like, if you take politics away, won't we just go back to beating each other to death?
I feel like if 2 adults consent to a duel, they should be able to duel.
Oh, really? I like that. You, a libertarian would be for that.
Well, why not?
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
I'm full of them, Greg. Full of good points.
I think those are needles.
No. I've never done anything intravenously, okay? I toe the line. I think that most people are independents, though. But you would not know that by looking at something like Twitter. But then you'll see people in like your real life do get radicalized for partisan reasons. I've lost friends that way. The fact that I have people who hate me because of my politics is crazy. Like me. Like I'm an annoying, attention-seeking nightmare of a person. But sure, like my politics is gonna be the problem that you have with me only if you're crazy.
Yes. I don't even get to your politics.
No.
I mean, I stop at just meeting you. I'm like, get the hell away from this lady.
But I'm still here. How many years later?
I don't know. You got pictures. And not of me. That's the weird thing.
No, she's got them of me.
And I'm standing above you. That's the weird thing. I'm out of the shot. Well, part of me.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.